Scaling that mountain, scaling those dragons, scaling a musical scale. Welcome everyone to Here Be Dragons, our most professional game. My name is Philip, and I'm the Dragon Master.
Skinning us.
You're interrupting me during my really professional intro?
Yeah, you just talked about skinning all of us, though.
Scaling some dragons. I might have meant climbing. They could be very big. My name is Philip, and I'm your Dragon Master, and I am ensconced by 4 adult dragons. You're not wormlings, so I'm just gonna say adult, but that sounded very like, welcome to a show about adult dragons.
Yeah, we can rent vehicles.
You guys can. Oh my god, you guys could run for Congress. Not the presidency yet, though. Because technically you gotta be 35, although in practice you gotta be, what, 70?
Yeah.
So I'm Philip, and I'm joined by a bunch of wonderful dragons. Roar hello, dragons.
Hello, dragons.
Oh, you know, I've got a candy cigarette here because I'm addicted to sugar. That's actually
not a perfectly rolled joint.
No, it's not. Believe me. It's honestly, and the problem with it is you guys won't hear it because of Zoom, but the viewers, sorry, it's like it crunches, so it's like, that's why I should just suck on my Lego cigarette. One of our players on Monday hates that I have a Lego cigarette in my mouth. It bothers her so much. She's like, it's so unhygienic.
That's part of the reason I got him.
That's why he told me to bring these. I'm supposed to be using these on Mondays when she's there, but she's never there. Okay, so let's talk about this game, which we are here for. And though we are short a Lord Buku himself is short, except when he's a humanoid. When he's
we are
taller.
short.
Yes, although now you're
well, he's the tallest. He's the tallest one in the group now.
Member. But let's talk a little bit about what has been happening since our dragons have come to the world of Mondevue, and they have encountered adherents to a new faith based on this strange doll called Maisie, and they have further sought new followers for Shishunetics. What are we calling it now?
Shishuology.
Shishuology. I like it because it also could.
It's based off of Shishunetics.
Shishunetics was the forerunner.
It's a derivative.
Yeah. But Shishuology really seems like a store that could be in like an upmarket mall. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. What is was it? Isn't it Geology the one that does the really intense skincare products?
Yeah, I was gonna say Shishuology is also a line for your scales, to help them.
Absolutely.
Isn't it like a soul care product?
Well, as I have learned recently,
soul care product, yes.
As I learned recently, most tea companies seem to be run by cults of some kind or another. Okay. So it'd be very easy for just the cult to also just manufacture products.
Oh, you gotta put your followers to work, for sure.
And we did establish a little bit of a pyramid-esque MLM vibe. So it would make sense that we would make them buy products to also sell to the followers they're recruiting.
It sounds,
everyone wins. Everyone wins.
The shape of it is deeply pyramidal.
That's the symbol on Shishu bucks.
We like to think of it more like a trapezoidal worm egg, as it were.
Makes sense.
It's a rhomboid with a fifth side. It's no big deal.
There you go. A rhomboid with a fifth side. Well, in our last game in particular, after you all had attended these sort of strange religious rites of this new group, seeing the rite of sunset, the rite of midnight, and the rite of the witching hour, and witnessing the very strange ways they would do this. Some of you witnessed it. The Buteros in bed by 9. But as you, upon doing so, and learning what they learned there, the group decided that it was time to set out. Legok told them of the sort of 2 cities they could either go, they could go one direction or another on that sort of, wishing road out there, this kind of very well paved, kind of iridescent crystal road that everyone's walking on. They got to go to Fresheb, a city of arts and culture that has a very focus on a specific kind of puppetry, or they could go to Ofalo, which is a city that is and both of these, by the way, are cities that have plenty of stuff in them, but Ofalo is a city that is home to multiple think tanks and universities and people who are dedicated to trying to find the lost civilizations that predated the current civilization here on this continent, called the Bawling Mystery. And apparently whatever their ancient civilizations cannot be found. A lot of debate as to what they were. Much of the information has been wiped away. It is a genuine mystery, and in fact, I'm not sure we explicitly said this, this civilization is named the Mystery because of uncertainty about where what happened to the civilizations before. So the group decided to head that way. They bid goodbye to Seton Crossley. They had a couple of adventures on the road. They met a unicorn who was in a toxic situation. They got someone. They got a body and a woman out of a trunk. There'd been a murder. There'd been a miscommunication about what kind of unicorn this politician was looking for. It's a whole thing. The point is, Pekamina the unicorn is now on your side, Shishu, and you have instructed her to tell 200. She will be absolved of the sin of murder that she committed if she tells 200 people about Shishuology, and they all tell 10, and they all tell 10, etc.
Right.
That was the deal you struck with her, and she said, "Okay."
To a downline of at least 5 deep. That's where absolution begins.
Oh wow!
5 is an important number in Shishuology.
I'm not sure she knew that. So that's good.
That's where absolution begins.
Murder.
Is 5 deep? So wait, 5 deep would there be? Is it 200, 10 each, and then 10 each from that? Will you have exceeded the population of the Earth by 5 deep?
Well, does it have to be actually 10 each, or just go the deep down?
10 each.
10 each, yeah. So it
You
probably
have to
exceeds the
ensure
population.
you have the numbers.
It's fine. Hey, no one said absolution was easy. They also sort of walked on. There were some discussions about who could and could not be resurrected. Actually, Pierce, I should have talked to you about this earlier. I did realize something about resurrection magic. It is a form of magic so reincarnation will be a kind of magic that you'll have some access to. Resurrection magic, I realized, is a much less rare thing because it's something the dragons would never have done for other dragons.
Oh, interesting.
They would have rushed away with their horde, or they would get their horde forever, and you wouldn't bring them back. It was culturally not something that draconic mages would have looked into.
Okay.
Is restoring any dragon to life, and bipeds. Who cares? In any case, I guess it's like cloning your dog. The point is, there were some discussions that it was reminded that Tura could not be brought back since her soul was stuck in the purple stuff. Then the group met
XigXag is not happy about this.
It's a tough one. Then the group met a vulture-headed fiend who was just walking on the road. It was very creepy. And you guys didn't get into a fight, but it kind of discussed, and the vulture-headed fiend mentioned that he is very worried about the doll, the detective, and Dracula. And you guys were like, okay, well, we know about the doll. What the hell's up with this? He basically insinuated he's going to go to this church that you guys referenced and make sure there's no one left there worshiping this doll because he wants to stop the spread of the doll. He demonstrated a little of his powers to Tongard, which seems to involve like instilling people with violent and murderous intent.
And I felt like he was very sniffy, like he was sniffing. He sniffed around me a little too much.
Shishu, it should be very clear, and Elon, you witnessed this. Shishu did not flirt with him at all. It wasn't like Shishu flirted with him until she later heard that he made Tongard think about killing Lagok, and then Shishu was like, no. And Shishu did not think of him as like an interesting bad boy. Shishu never did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just be clear.
But it was on him.
As he sort of headed out, wandered along, Tongard sort of mused that this is kind of actually frightening because that guy is very strong. That's like a real fiend walking this material plane here. And if he's afraid of these dolls and detectives and whoever this Dracula person is, then they must be very, very powerful entities indeed.
Yeah.
So.
Probably fine, though.
But you did pass him. So
We also
going
not
where
make
you're
any
going.
deals with him.
Oh yeah, you didn't make any. Yeah, you guys, you
That's
did a
good.
great job of accruing no new quest debt. So well done. So at that point, Elon, that's really all you sort of missed. Just a couple of lighthearted adventures on the Wishing Road, and our dragons. Then we will sort of begin with you guys pulling on in to Ofalo. So there you go. Oh dear.
Oh, do we roll luck?
You do roll
All
luck.
right.
Oh yeah. How many do we roll? 4 or 5?
Please all roll
Four.
4 dice.
Ugh.
Very
But
sorry.
what about 5 though?
No. Sadly, you just rolled 4.
I got 1 pair.
Congratulations, you'll
Me
have 4
too.
luck for the night.
Damn it.
Hey, I also got a pair.
You have 4 luck for the night. Well done.
Me too.
Hey.
I also have.
Is
a
any
pair.
of our power restored as we walk down the streets?
Yes, you guys will have received another day's walk. Give yourself another 8 power
Yeah.
from where you are. That being said, I am actually I'm afraid I'm going to have to never mind, all is well.
Okay.
Momentary blip. Sometimes my word processing program just is non-responsive, and then it just works.
Cool.
Like Shishuology. We will
You just
begin
have
with
to
you all.
hold faith. Keep faith.
Gotta have faith. I gotta have it. Well, you got it, but I got it. So, as our dragons, in their bipedal forms, once again, 2 of you are goblins. One of you is a tall human man who likes mayonnaise. The other is an identical, is a twin of said human man, but sort of angel-like. And also with you is a massive stony giant man and Lagok. The 6 of you merrily make your way towards the city of Ofalo. Now, Ofalo is nestled in a sort of like against some large, steep mountains, which you have seen in the distance kind of growing. I suppose I say steep mountains. They're not, to dragons, they're kind of like whatever mountains. There are much more towering mountains in Wyrmloth and like Cloud's Caress, where, the Buteros grew up and where your school was on mountains that would put these to shame. But they are some, for the area, especially since the terrain has been a little bit more gradually rolling hills and things, there are these 2 big mountains kind of serve as, built into the side of them are several buildings. Sort of domed, arched buildings, a lot of kind of circular, curved architecture here in Ofalo and actually throughout the region at large. But then sort of there is a small sort of flat area next to that where much of the city is spread out. And then there is a large lake next to that. And you do notice as you sort of are approaching, kind of coming towards this, that on that lake there are several sort of goblin-made platforms as well that sort of extend into the lake. So the city has extended both into the water and kind of up the mountainside to an extent. So it's a town that has there's some very clearly delineated different sorts of terrain even within this one town. There are a few structures that you probably notice as being, grander than the others, just even as you're kind of sort of heading down toward it. There seems to be some kind of large palace just on the edge of the water. Another large structure seems to be built kind of with many platforms leading to it. A sort of domed complex of some kind that is on various platforms, and as far as you can tell probably has foundations built into sort of the shallower part of the water there. And then there is also up on the mountain, there is a rather sturdy looking structure as well. That seems a little more institutional one way or another.
Which one is the closest?
The closest of those three structures?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the one that is on the water, sort of front.
Should we go and check it out?
I mean, it seems as good a place to start as any.
Yeah.
All right. As you guys head in, you are all greeted with the scent of a lot of goblin cuisine, the likes of which you've encountered on a few occasions. I will say that it is sort of late afternoon by the time you arrive here, because you did stay in you stayed overnight in an inn. Lagok will even mention, like, I will keep my eyes open for lodging, but perhaps we will find some better sort of option upon reaching one of these places. But you still have a few hours of daylight left, so you walk in. There's kind of the side of the city you'd be coming in on. There's a good bit of, like, street cart fare, some smaller sort of shops and stalls. You do see there's a lot of places where people are, like, taking mounts and things, but you also notice there are a few garages where people are taking those cars, like your friend Big Z had. You see a few more of those vehicles there as well. So it's kind of like a weird mishmash of stuff. You also probably do notice there are a couple of airships overhead.
Do they look ominous, or do they look...
They look
just like
very
normal...
nicely designed, but they are ships that are floating. So, clearly there's a lot going on in sort of these larger things, but this is certainly a much bigger city than any kind of, you might have passed some towns here or there. This is Ofalo is it's actually a bigger city than Fresheb would have been had you gone the other direction. So if you begin making your way sort of through your at this point just staying kind of on the flat ground, you're passing many warehouses, many foundries, sort of the kinds of structures you would find in any sort of biped city or biped sort of colony that you've encountered, just kind of like, typical business things. But as you grow closer to the water and that sort of palace that is set upon it, you notice that the sort of quality of places is probably a little more appealing to the Buteros. It's a little more sort of fancy, a little more elegant. You also are seeing better dressed bipeds moving around, so it's clearly kind of making your way to a tonier area. When you eventually will reach a very large plaza. You're still not to this palace yet, but you're kind of in like a district, and on this plaza there's a large fountain in the center of it, which is bubbling in a very kind of magical, mystical, bizarre way. Here you feel like you must be in some kind of administrative district, some kind of noble area. No one is really giving you guys any odd looks or unwelcoming looks, but you're definitely feeling that the people in this place have some currency to spend. As you get to this spot, however, one person will take notice of you. She sort of turns to you in this kind of eerie way, and she is a mannequin.
Oh,
have you ever seen mannequins before?
I don't know that you all would have ever seen a mannequin. She is basically she seems to be made of, like, she's painted, and seems to be made purely of, wood and lacquer. She sort of just turns to you with a very sort of blank face, and as she sort of approaches, she will say, "Good afternoon, travelers." But you do notice that her face does not move at all.
Oh. And I'd like to go up close to it and just knock on it.
If she'll back up if you do so. Her facial expression doesn't change at all. XigXag, when you get close to her, I mean, you are smelling a lot of things here. But you do scent a little bit of, like... Actually, no, you don't. Never mind. She smells very, like... She doesn't smell like a typical biped. She smells just very kind of, like, artificial.
But I would like to ask, are you an automaton?
What? Oh, no. My name is Serena.
Yes, what are you, Serena?
Oh, I am just a traveler such as yourselves. Although, I've been here for a while, so I'm almost a native Ophalian. XigXag, want you to make a listen roll for me.
Okay, listen. What is that, 6?
Whatever you tell me. It's your sheet. 7 for you.
7.
Yeah.
That is, I have 2 pairs. 3 pairs.
Oh, wow. Which do you want to use?
I have gemstone, trophy, and tome.
Wow.
I'll take tome.
Tome. Pick a secondary one as well. I will give you 2 different kinds of information.
Gemstone.
Gemstone's your second. Okay, cool. With your tome for knowledge seekers, so that's a very good one for this. XigXag, you notice kind of being closer to the other dragons. You probably could notice this too if you were sort of closer and paying attention. Her voice is coming from her chest or torso.
Uh-huh.
And XigXag, you think it sounds slightly metallic.
I think it is an automaton.
Well, in any
It's a
case,
machine.
it seems like it's here to guide us in some way or another.
Oh, I don't work for the city. You just appeared lost.
Oh, well, we are, so that's very astute. We are looking for, well, there's a few places we're looking for.
Let me guess. You're looking for one of the research institutes dedicated to finding the ancient civilizations.
Sure.
Well, that is one of the
Yes, well.
places.
That's what everyone's looking for here.
Is that all you got?
What are the
Thanks.
other things?
That's what everyone's looking for who comes to Ofalo.
Okay. How about a lodging?
Yeah,
Is
we're also
anybody looking for that?
Oh. Well, yes, there are. Do you want to spend a lot of coin or a little?
Somewhere in
Not a
between?
lot. In between, yeah.
In between.
Money is no object.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
getting
it
mixed
is
messages
object.
from you.
Lagak.
I
Maybe,
mean, money is definitely an object. So yes, if we could maybe spend, perhaps the middle sounds intriguing. Oh, yes, there is a boarding house. It is where I'm staying, and it is very nice, but it is not opulent.
Well, that sounds all right.
Oh, is there an opulent place? We should probably stay
yes, many opulent places. She'll point, and you'll sort of see on one side of this is it's like a real Grand Budapest hotel looking, just massive
Jeez.
thing, kind of. She'll sort of point. Well, that is a very opulent.
there. Elon, I think that we should be staying there.
I mean, I feel like no one will respect us if we don't. So that's what I feel like spiritually it speaks to me. Like I need to connect. I've been meaning to talk to you about that actually, but yeah, I think that's a good place.
We're just gonna call it the Grand. She says it's the Grand Ofalo Hotel. We'll just lean into it. Yeah.
Okay. And where, just so we have the information, where was this boarding house that you were staying at?
I am staying in a boarding house. It is, well, you won't be able to see it from here because of buildings that are in front of it. But it is, and she points kind of slightly extending, it is just at the foot of the hills.
Does
The
it
foot
have
of
a
the
name?
The boarding house where I stay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it has a name. Fucking Christ.
It keeps sounding like that you're saying boring house.
My boring house? It is very
Yeah.
boring. Yes. No bad things happen there.
Do bad things happen at the Grand Ofalo Hotel?
Well, I would imagine. My boarding house is called the Basil and Sprig.
Basil and Sprig. That's pretty charming.
Charming is a word that they use when it's not that nice.
Oh, that's not how I use that word. Like, I wouldn't say you're very charming and mean that you are not very nice.
Oh, you could.
If you were a
Good.
goddess, shouldn't you be walking among your people?
I mean, not every minute of every day.
No, she needs to recharge, you know?
I have to focus my energy. I'm an introverted goddess.
Well,
Also, it means more when your worshippers come to you, you know?
And what a better place to go than the most opulent hotel in town. People will be thrilled to come see a goddess at this beautiful place.
Yeah, let's just go. I'll check in.
Most people here consider themselves goblinist and are not very religious. They're secular
Great.
goblinists.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would say just, just as another point of view, is that if you were looking for followers, Shishu, you're more likely going to find them in more humble places, I think, based off of how many we've attracted so far, and where we have found them. Like, I think if you go somewhere like, and feel free, we can go to the Grand Hotel here, but I don't think you'll find a lot of people receptive to needing anything there. Like, Alan, Shishu,
I
do either of
appreciate
you
that.
need anything?
Whoa.
Besides your father's affection.
I mean, deep connection with my fellow beings. Profit. Quarter over quarter.
And,
I mean, endless profit, really.
and something about you said something about performant end use cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
No. I mean, that's what I need. What I want, just the normal stuff. You know, a beautiful partner, feeling satisfied, like never crying, you living forever.
A horde.
Normal
It's
stuff.
large.
Never crying and living forever.
Normal stuff.
Normal, yeah.
Well, it's good that you still have aspirations, Ilan, given how much success that you've talked about.
It's hard. You know, you gotta keep reaching. Tonga, it's important. You gotta keep reaching.
You seem like very strange travelers.
Yeah, well, you want to
Yeah,
just,
we are.
are you gonna bus our stuff? Like, you gonna carry for us over
Oh,
there?
no.
Thank
Is it
you,
like
Porter.
a sky cap situation?
It is interesting
Um,
because two of you really sound like people who would be staying at the Grand Follow Hotel. And two of you, well, one of you keeps calling me an automaton. But,
But what are you? I had never seen someone like you.
oh, I'm sorry. Am I upsetting you?
No, I'm not that easy to upset.
Well, that's good.
Do you have a brain?
Yes.
Oh, I would love to see your brain.
Okay.
My dad would love to see your brain.
Is he your dad? She points at Tongard.
No, he's not here.
No, I
But
have no
he's-
interest in.
He has a
in-
thing for brains.
All right. Well, come this way then. And she kind of walks off the thing towards like an alley, on like the side, like adjacent to, but not the same as the Grand Follow Hotel.
Sure, let's do it. Walked into a big city. First 5 minutes in the big city, meet a strange creature. Let's follow him into an alley.
Hey, sure. What could happen?
Okay.
Well, I'll accompany you if you want to take a look at this person's brain there, XigXag.
Are you guys going into the alley? Elan,
Sure.
Shishu?
Do I smell anything suspicious?
You don't. And there's actually a reason for it, which we're about to get to. I apologize. Because technically, but I realized the thing. So you walk in, and she says, I wanted a little bit of privacy here. This should be okay. And she unbuttons her shirt and pulls it open to reveal that in sort of like under her sort of torso is a jar full of liquid containing a brain.
Oh, fascinating. What does this brain look like compared to other brains I've seen?
Because of your deep history in this. And by the way, I rolled brain in the jar as what this creature would be, independent of you. And I just, as we started playing, was like, oh, XigXag's gonna know. But just think, XigXag, you didn't smell it because it is totally contained within this metal thing. So that's why you could not smell brain. I think you, XigXag, should, given your history of brain removal practices, you're going to get to add that bonus, add that to investigate. You're going to get 9 on this.
Woohoo!
9 freaking dice.
That is so many dice.
7 to investigate, plus 2 from your knowledge of brain.
Well, out of 9, it's like I have a triple and then the double. So I have 3 of weapon
3 of weapon. Okay.
and 2 of tome.
2 of tome, 3 of weapon. Okay. Do you want to use your 3 or your 2?
Oh, and also have a 4 of talisman, but whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna use the 3.
The 3. Okay, cool. So, as you sort of analyze this, you're kind of it's weapon is not a specific thing, but a third degree success is very good. As you look at this creature, the brain seems active, but it has decayed a bit. It is not, you don't believe the brain is still, the brain is being artificially kept alive. You think this is probably an undead brain that was taken from a living being and put in a jar so that consciousness could continue. It is something that, Quadrazix, what's your parents' name? Quadrazix? Oh my god, sorry.
Something Q.
Yeah, sounds right.
I'm
Just
looking
let's
it up
just
because
call
I'm
him Q.
yeah, Quadrazix. So Quadrazix was your, yeah, that's his name. You would definitely have maybe experimented with this, but this would have required, in addition to brilliant science, some degree of like necromancy, some degree of sort of. So you are looking at an undead. The reason you didn't smell the undead, though, you're absolutely certain, is because the brain is hermetically sealed in a preservatory liquid within this jar, and somehow the brain in the jar has been programmed to control the body and perceive likely through it.
XigXag would like to know so much about it, how it happened, and the technical details and everything. I don't know if we have time for that.
Oh, I can tell you about. You want to know about my creation?
Everything, yes,
she
buttons
her
Hold on.
buttons up.
Breaks up some papers. Need to take notes.
Yes, I was, so I was well, I was killed.
I'm sorry.
I was murdered.
Oh.
Wait,
Yeah. Okay.
in like a crime of passion?
Well, sort of, yes. It's kind of complicated. Somebody murdered me when they found out I was a dancer, and someone thought they didn't realize they wanted to kill the prima ballerina. They didn't realize that I was her understudy and performing in her place.
Does the prima ballerina still live?
She does.
Oh.
Ooh, who was the killer?
Her jealous lover.
No.
Not her husband.
Oh. And who did this
What?
scientific genius that you are now, this masterpiece?
Yes. The Phantom of the Ballet.
Oh.
Her lover was the Phantom of the Ballet who murdered you?
No. The Phantom of the Ballet is the one who apparently took my brain out and put me into this mannequin form.
Oh. Is he in this town?
No.
Somewhere else? Oh.
He's in a
that's too
different
bad.
town.
But in this realm?
Oh, yes. Well, he's at the ballet house. Where I used
Before
to
you
perform.
were murdered?
Which town?
For Shep.
Fasheb. Oh. Well, if we
Before
ever
murder-
go to Fasheb, I will have to look him up. What's his name?
Oh, they would just call him the Phantom. You can't miss him. He has a half-white face mask. Very reclusive.
Well, you could miss him if he's very reclusive.
That is an excellent point.
This ballet that you were part of? Is it like heavily costumed? So I'm just trying to figure out how the lover of the prima ballerina would have killed you by mistake, thinking you were the prima ballerina.
He dropped a sandbag on my head.
Oh.
I just was figuring. I guess.
So it wasn't meant like it wasn't. It wasn't meant for you, but you just happened to be there.
Well, yes, I was. It was in the dance, so he cut it when he knew that the prima ballerina would be right under it. But I was dancing that night.
Did you kill him?
What? No, I've
In
never killed
revenge?
anyone.
Wait, but
you should have.
didn't he
Why
know?
not?
Oh.
Why
Yeah,
not?
don't they make an announcement where we're from in our plane of existence? They make an announcement if there's an
Yeah, they put like a
Oh,
little.
they
bit-
always make an announcement. I was very gratified, even though the audience was very mad that I was dancing that night.
It's rough.
Mm.
It's rough.
But he
But
must not
he
have
didn't
heard
hear
it.
the announcement.
No. He was too busy sneaking around preparing to murder his lover.
Did
And
they
he never
catch
wound
him?
up murdering her.
No, he was arrested after murdering me.
Oh,
Mm.
that's good. So justice was served.
Yes. Well, actually, the Phantom killed him. Then he
Yeah,
played the
good,
organ
very
for
good.
a long time.
Did he put the murderer's brain in a jar?
No.
Oh. Not even for safekeeping, or
No.
for just.
He
oh.
just hanged him from his neck.
He wears them
That's
like
a
a
waste of a good brain, though.
Wears him like a what?
Waste of a good brain.
Oh.
You know, I mean, you put the thing. What you do with brains is that you put them in a jar with some good preserving fluids, and then you keep them on a shelf, just in case you need them for something later. It's like that's how my dad does it.
Even though I am a brain in a jar, I have a feeling you know much more about this than I do.
Yeah, I think you need to freshen up that liquid in there.
Oh no. I don't want to die again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
Do you-
cannot do it without dying.
I don't
It looks
know.
like it's not quite fresh anymore.
Oh dear.
There might be some. I'm sure it's gonna last long enough.
She kind of like puts. It looks like she's putting a hand on her stomach.
Do you still know how to do ballet?
Oh yes, she will begin to dance beautiful ballet on like a wooden point, you know, and she's just twirling around. She's very light now.
That is
Beautiful.
mighty impressive. Forgive
We're
me if
gonna
this is.
check into our hotel, I guess. So good luck.
Oh,
Well, actually,
Mm.
forgive me if this is a too personal of a question. But I
you've
just have
asked
one thing.
very personal questions so far. I've been,
Well,
I've demonstrated a pretty quickness to just answer anything, including showing you my brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this would require that you would have had to have sort of used your wish before, but I was just curious if you die and are brought back to life, do you get another wish?
Oh, that is too personal a question.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
But I guess if you're asking if someone had already used their wish and then was brought back to life, no, they would not get another one.
All right.
Hmm.
Thank you. I was just sort of curious. I'm still trying to figure out how the whole system works.
A couple of like larger figures kind of like start moving down this alley from the other direction and kind of like, you know, sort of, you guys can either step back out into the plaza or like I'll move to the side as
Oh.
they're...
Well, thank you very much. What was your name?
Serena.
Serena. Thank you, Serena. Tungar. Pleasure.
Zigzag.
Elan. Pleasure.
Chishu, your royal deity highness.
Oh, I am not a royal deity, highness.
No, I am your.
That's how you would.
I am your.
Oh.
It's okay.
You guys kind of, a couple people just kind of brush past you guys, and someone mutters like weirdos in an alley or something like that, but they kind of head past. But she'll kind of now step out of the alley and say, well, if you have any questions about the various institutes, you can let me know. Maybe you'll find me at the Basil and Sprig. Or maybe you won't, because you'll be staying in the Grand Ofalo Hotel.
Best of luck to you, Serena.
Thank you.
Oh, Serena, before you leave, that big building over there with the dome and stuff,
Oh,
is
yes.
that one of those
Oh,
find the ruins places?
she will point to the sort of the building on the thing and say, no, that is simply the mayor's palace.
Oh,
The Lord Mayor of Afalo. That is the palace where they live. And then she'll point to the sort of domed structure out on the water, kind of that you'd walk to by going on these like boardwalks. She'll say, but that is one of the institutes.
thank you. And what about that thing on the hill?
Oh, that is also one of the institutes. Very astute suggestion.
Thank you so much.
The one on the water is called the Mysterians Men Headquarters. And on the mountain is the Stonehold Research Institute. They're the two largest, hence they're more opulent places, but there's dozens of other smaller ones.
Oh,
Some of them are also coffee shops.
copy or coffee?
Actually, both.
Oh.
Not the same one. One is a coffee shop and an institute. Another is a coffee shop and an institute.
Fascinating.
And then there's one that provides childcare. But people only use it for childcare. No one goes to that one for its purpose as an institute.
Aha. Is that
Serena-
maybe the children?
Yes, but they're not studying anything. They're just playing.
Oh.
Serena, before you died, one last personal question. Before you died, did you use your wish?
Oh, that is too personal a question. I already told your friend Tongart. His
Oh, I'm
royal,
sorry.
his royal deity majesty.
Oh, that's fine. You can just call me Tongar.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Serena. Thanks for looking at some lost travelers and helping us guide our way through here.
Sure.
What are you going to make your way in this city?
I'm not sure. I've been here for a little while. I kind of like it here. There's a lot of
How much
people
money
coming
do
in.
you
and out.
have?
How much money do I have?
Yeah, to be able to support your move to a new city.
Oh, well, I do okay.
What's your profession?
I still dance.
Oh,
Oh,
that makes
like,
sense. You're very good at it.
So it's like a sex thing.
What?
It's okay. I don't judge. But if you wanna, I'm gonna go ahead and just like write the name of the hotel on a piece of paper and hand it to her.
The name of the hotel she told you about?
Yeah, like this is where I'm staying. Just in case you need a little extra coin.
Oh my god.
She'll reply, you misspelled Ofalo.
I know.
It's on purpose, right?
I know.
Elon, it sounds like you needed to get back to the city because your game is back. It is back.
It's like watching a poet.
Thanks, Sheesh. I've actually been feeling a little bit blue. I don't want to talk about it in mixed company, but meaning people outside of our family.
I
Well,
understand.
I guess we're gonna go now, Serena.
Serena,
It was a privilege to meet you, Serena.
Okay. Well, I'm sure I'll see you around. You're hard to miss.
yeah, you will. You will.
Okay.
Well,
I have to think that Lord Buku would have said a couple of things in there, but maybe he's just too stunned.
Did he?
Uh,
Did he? Maybe I
Um,
cast a silent spell on him, just very small.
All right, so yeah, if you guys take a couple of steps away from Serena, she'll kind of walk back over sort of towards the fountain. She will sort of turn back to you all a couple of times, but then sort of head to her place. Lagak says, "All right, so just so you understand, Buteros, though we can afford to stay in this Grand Ofalo hotel, at least I assume, unless it's exorbitantly priced, it would be better for us not to. You would be utilizing a good bit of the gold that we have on hand. Now, if you truly deem it vital to our success that you be seen there and understood, sort of to be important movers and shakers, I can understand that it is worthwhile, but we'll need to curtail expenditures in other places. For example, I don't know if we're going to need to pay dues to enter any of these research organizations. Membership fees, tuitions, things like this. So, you might want to find out how much it's going to cost to do your mission before you commit to a penthouse suite in the Grand Ofalo Hotel.
Well, that does raise a good point. We could go check in at the institutes first. So that's sort of the reason we came here, and see what the situation is there, since we got to find these ruins. Because that's going to be the cornerstone miracle of our religion here.
Let's check those out first.
Okay.
Now, what was the first one called? Was it the Median Men's?
The Mysterian's Men. And I think that by this point you guys would know that the Mysterian is the sort of monarch or head of state of the Balling Mystery. That is the term for the sort of, the monarch, the head of state, the top gob.
Okay.
Top dog, top gob.
Top gob.
So one of these sort of things, and the way she phrased it, she said it was their headquarters. So, yeah, actually, yeah, you didn't ask her much about these things, so yeah,
no.
You just know their names. It's that or the Stonehold Research Institute.
More intrigued by the Stonehold Research Institute myself, but that's just sort of like a real
Let's
on the
further
surface.
away.
It's the real on the surface judgment.
I'm gonna say that for convenience sake, or perhaps not convenience sake, because you guys are sort of like in this plaza, they are equal distances from where you are. It'll take you just as long to get to either one.
Should we flip a coin?
Suppose we could. I mean,
You flip one. Heads, Mysterian, and tails, stone something.
sure, that seems fine. I have a coin, Philip, but I know you have a D2 lying around. You wanna?
Sure.
Heads, we go to the Mysterian. Tails, we go to the Stone Chapel.
Okay. I'll let it fall. That almost went into my drink. I rolled heads.
All right, Mysterian. That's the Mysterian Men chapter.
The Mysterians Men. Like the King's Men.
And Mysterian's Men. Okay.
The Mysterians Men is what this place is called. Alright, so if you guys start walking out onto the boardwalks, there are once again various kind of you get to an area that there are some sections of it that are very nice and fancy, but you're also finding there are gangplanks you could kind of go down to, and other sort of large platforms here on the water, also very open over them, so there's a lot of spots where you see people are on little rafts kind of going under all these docks and these boardwalks and things. A lot of fishing seems to be going out on the lake, but also just general lake business, laking it up. They make their way, as you make your way down this, you eventually find that you're on sort of a larger kind of walkway that is leading to this thing, and there are a lot of people sort of looking at it from the outside, but not so many people actually going into this large sort of domed structure. But there's no guards or anything at the entrance.
Sorry, did we walk to an institution?
Yes,
Can
you
we
are
just
heading to
walk
the,
in?
the out on the water on all those like platforms and stuff. You're going to the headquarters of the Mysterians Men.
Which is we know that the Mysterian it's like the president of the area. It is.
Okay.
So it's like a national institute.
So as you sort of approach, there's like a large kind of set of steps you can kind of walk up to get in there, but there is a few people going in and out, but nothing is preventing your entrance. I will, however, say that as you arrive at this point, you see large like portraits and statues that have a very kind of explorers club energy. This seems to be like the lodge for kind of some like society of exploration of that kind of vibe. Kind of very sort of self-serious and grandiose. And as you walk up to it, you notice that kind of in sort of the main chamber that you could kind of come to here, it's a very high ceilinged room. Dragons could even fit in here pretty easily. There is a large globe, and the globe seems to be this country that you are all in, like this planet that you're on. This is the world of Mondeville.
I would like to just study it all over.
Absolutely.
Like memorize it.
Go ahead and do an investigate on that. And you notice that it still seems to be a good deal of like, just like tourists are in here. There also are like exhibits, kind of things in glass, like exotic, exotica and artifacts and things that are sort of being displayed here, and people are sort of looking around. But at the far end of this, XigXag's kind of standing here as you guys start walking around the globe, you see that at the far end seems to be a staircase leading upwards, and that does have a pair of guards standing at it, sort of gently waving people away while also pointing to various exhibits to them. So it's not an intimidating thing, but that seems to be a private space.
I have two pairs. Gemstone and trophy.
Which would you like to use for this?
I'll go with gemstone.
With gemstone, I think that you will be able to get I think that you will, if you take nothing else away, you have the rough shape of how the continents on this thing work. Like, you know where you are. You even see the wishing road up on like the continent of the north. That is this sort of Wenhavas that you're on. You recognize the other continent. You're kind of like you have a good shape of this thing. You could give a rough drawing of like the land masses if you had to.
Anybody else? Are there any people around?
There's various like tourists or sort of people just looking at the artifacts, but then there's just those two guards at the thing. That's all you notice in here now. You get a strong sense that you are in like the public, like the open to the public museum-y area. A grand chamber, declaring their whatever. And Pierce, I'm not sure if you heard this. It's very like Explorers Club vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suppose then, just there maybe take a. So the guards are guarding. Are they guarding the? Sorry, are they guarding the artifacts, or are they guarding like another?
They are
deeper
standing
door?
in front of a staircase that leads upwards and sort of
that's-
into what you presume is the actual headquarters.
Then I will approach the guard. The
Mhm.
guards.
Okay.
Hey. Hi there,
It's
friends.
a human is the guard who you're sort of walking up to, and he'll sort of say, oh, yes?
Yeah, hi there, friends. See, I'm sure, like a lot of people that come through here, we're looking to sort of go help discover these ruins.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just sort of looking at who we need to talk to in order to sort of either find a sort of where the assistance is needed or any kind of legality involved with that, or not.
Oh,
You know,
did
we
you
don't want
do-
to just go poking out in the wilderness on our own.
wait. So you wanted to look at the artifact, or did you want to pay your membership dues and join the club?
Well, what are the dues, and where would we go to do that?
Well,
Do I
it
just
depends
give
on.
you?
Oh well, yeah. If you want to do that, please go in. You can speak to the sort of you can speak to our administrators about that if you want to potentially join.
Well, I see, and sorry, what can you tell me about the artifact?
What artifacts? We have many display cases around.
Or anything that's been like most recently brought here.
Oh, well, it's a rotating collection. Let's see. I think that statue came in a few months ago.
All right, thank you. And I'll just let me go confer with my companions here.
Oh, there's
to get
many of
this.
you. Okay, yes. They do
There's a
group
few.
rates.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you very much. And I'll return to the group. So, looks like if we want to even go upstairs to kind of talk to anyone, it's going to be sort of a join-in, which means we'd have to pay a membership due. Although it does sound like they do group rates, so there is something to that.
I'm
now-
down.
Yeah. I mean, I probably get in for free.
Somehow I doubt that, Shishu. But, that is interesting. So they did. Okay, so they said they do a group rate.
They did.
I
They
don't.
said
I don't pay to get into clubs.
There's one thing you should know in me. I don't pay to get into clubs.
I didn't get any sort of specifics, but it sounded like if we were interested, we could walk upstairs and talk to one of the administrators about it. So I don't know how pricey it might be. I didn't think the guard was the best. In terms of
Actually,
negotiating.
Tungart, speaking of that, give me a read person on that guard.
Sure. I guess I could roll dice
Yeah.
in this game.
So far, I believe Vanda is the only person who's made rolls.
All right, that's 7 of them. That's 7 of them. Okay. Sure. We'll swap that one around. Triple weapon.
Triple weapon. I will say that you did get a sense from this guard that they are to encourage in recruitment, but not to encourage people who are just looky-loos kind of, kind of vibe. So they're sort of it's like, if you have money, they're really supposed to try to get you upstairs, but they probably just don't care that much to really try to suss out who has money. And of your group, you're not the one who looks like you have money, so he was kind of just being polite but non-committal,
Thank
Right.
you.
Well, I'm wondering what is the benefit of belonging to this club?
Well, I can imagine. Well, the thing is, we don't know what kind of legalities are involved, right? In sort of trying to do one of these expeditions, right? Where we can't. I don't know if we can just go sort of poking around on our own, right? We might have to file some
Do
sort
they
of.
have anything like the history of the search so far or something like
You know
that?
what? I'll
So-
tell you what. Make a luck roll for me, XigXag. You all get 4 dice for
Alrighty.
that today.
I just have found if you're going to run in certain social circles, it's going to cost you. So
I have a double artwork.
Double artwork. I will say that there actually is there is one exhibit that has a sort of sometimes at museums there'll be a thing like painted on a wall, and then there's little other things you can read. So you can you can read in one section of this area a sort of a thing about what their charter is, and how they explain that we the Mysterians men believe that the only way to sort of solve the Baling mystery is to go out into this world and even other worlds, and to never stop the search. And Ooh, I'll tell you what. Anyone who'd like to could give me a detect vibe on this, which probably is a detect vibe, or I guess maybe I'd let you do an analyze if that's a higher score for you. Detect vibe or analyze, either one, whichever you would prefer, as you sort of read this.
Probably not mine. Yeah, not me.
Not you.
I can do analyze.
Do an analyze.
Anybody good at detect vibe?
Tongart's okay.
I am, but I only got a pair of 8s, another
Okay.
pair of weapons.
Tongart,
I mean, I'm good at detecting my own vibe, but literally no one else's.
My vibe, my vibe, no one's better.
Immaculate all time. I understand.
Yeah.
I have a pair of trinkets.
Okay, with a couple.
But I could be, should I can use 5 points.
Actually, I think that between you and Tongart, we'll say since you guys both have like a second degree success in the various things, maybe you two like conversing and you're saying like that's phrased weird and Tongart's like, oh, that's a thing. You do notice that this mission statement makes some digs at, they don't call it out by name, but you suspect based on what Serena told you, they're probably making digs at the Stonehold Research Institute. That they're kind of making suggestions like, we think you should actually go out and keep looking and not just sit around theorizing on everything all the time. So in other words, you get the impression that perhaps that thing, out of you two talking together, get the impression that that place must be about, like they must not go out looking anymore. They're just analyzing stuff and theorizing, whereas these people are going out. But, well, yeah, that's what you get with those levels.
Maybe we should check out the other place first.
Yeah, I mean, that place might give us more information. Doesn't sound like they'll be helpful in going out, but I do think
but we
that...
don't want them to go out anyway. We are going out. We don't want them to poach our discoveries.
No, I just mean, I don't know if they, like, maybe membership here comes with, like, gear, maps of areas they've already... Yeah,
Anyone can make anyone could do a straight intellect roll on that point.
Oh, sure.
Ain't me.
Or
Again,
Straight
I don't.
intellect?
not your thing.
I don't have one of those.
Okay, I'll try.
Perhaps even research if you cared more. That wouldn't be research. I'm not sure what this would be. I'm just trying to give you a logical clue.
Sure.
Okay, 2 pairs.
Oh, nice.
Tome and trinket.
Since Tone's in there, yeah, I think XigXag, you probably kind of, based on what Tongart's saying, you're like, they also probably, the maps, it's less about like maps of stuff that you could probably know where they've gone and it hasn't, like you could eliminate broad swaths of useless stuff, although you also probably could do that at the other place, but yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
I'll just voice it because it's... I also have 2 pair.
Okay.
Gemstone and Talisman, in case that gives us anything else extra. It doesn't have to. That's fine.
I'll tell you what, with the Talisman in there, I think perhaps you... They may have other just magical advantages here that they wouldn't have at the other place. They're both places probably provide some use.
Okay.
Okay, so then... And... So from what I understand, like, this place is a local chapter of institutions all around the country. And the other place is gonna... It seems like it's... Like, that is maybe its sole location. I don't know which would make one more costlier than the other. Elon, you're an expert in all things pertaining to finance. Would something having lots of locations, I mean, very prestigious, make it more expensive or less expensive than a place that is sort of a rival but has less locations?
I mean, it really depends on the input, also the output.
Elon, give me a calculate. I'll let you have a mechanical answer to this potentially if you want to, but you can still just keep saying what you're saying.
Shoot, my things are too small. Hold on.
For no reason in particular, while Andrew is rolling this, do you know that Cybertrucks are already rusting and getting stuck in 3 inches of sand?
Yes.
I've seen. I have to say, and I feel like it is certainly not punching down, but it does kind of feel like piling on. Like every time I see a Cybertruck while I'm like walking around, like there's like I've always thought they looked kind of goofy. In person, it looks like a they look so bad.
They look like a child's drawing.
They look like something from a low budget sci-fi movie. It looks like somebody like glued like welded some stuff around it's like
there should be a golf court. There should be like a golf cart inside. They're driving around like a Johnny cab or something.
They look like so like grainy. But I mean like literally yes, like rusty or just like they look like grainy. Like the finish on. Oh.
In Baker, California, the gateway to Death Valley today, as we were driving past the UFO jerky station, there was a Cybertruck parked with a teal blue wrap advertising John's Pool Supplies, and I felt like that's the appropriate use of a Cybertruck.
Honestly, I bet with a teal blue wrap,
sounds like John's doing fine. Yeah. Honestly. John's selling a lot of pool supplies.
John needs it. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Elon, you also don't have to do a calculate if you'd rather just keep saying Elon.
I just have to, I have it's a 2d8. No, it's the no match.
Understood. Okay, cool. Well, so yeah, Elon.
All right. So it's about the input and the output.
I mean, you really have to. Yeah, you have to understand.
You know,
it really has to do with. I mean, to be honest, it has to do with marketing. So.
Who said we couldn't join both places?
Well, I mean,
we just don't tell them that we're gonna do that.
I mean, there is something to say about we both don't have to join. We don't all have to join one place, too, right? So, like,
oh, it's true. Half of us.
We don't have to even engage in any kind of deception. Yeah, exactly.
And then we share info.
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair. You guys should be able to join the same place that Elon and I join.
Well, we could. I think we're just making more of a strategic decision, Shishu, rather than a classist one.
Oh, got it. I got it.
But if you want to join this more, the less studious one, I could imagine.
I like to vibe it out.
Seems to me that the one on the hill would be more Shishu's and Elan's and Lord Buku's speed. Right, you know, I mean, they look fancier and up on the hill and looking down and everything.
Sure, I could see that. Well then, Lagak. So I think we're gonna ask you to join with us so that we have an even 3 and 3 probably.
Oh, so the 3 of us are going to try to join this august location while the others are going to go to the other place.
Well, yeah, I think that's what we're deciding. I think that's regretfully what we're deciding.
Just to be clear, you and XigXag and I, we're the 3 of us.
You know what? You're right. Lagak, you should go with the Pteros.
All right.
And Buku, XigXag, and I will speak
Buku
here.
Can be us.
All right. Then I suppose we can wait around long enough for you to maybe hear how much you would need to enter.
Certainly, yeah. We could also just hear this and go with you guys, and you can check there, and then we'll make a decision.
Sounds
instead
good.
of splitting up. I think that.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, all right, XigXag. Let's go inquire about membership.
Okay. I would guess Buku goes front because he's the most
tall, sturdy.
regal.
Yeah, he'll go and say, yes, we want to, he'll sort of say, my good man, we'd like to learn about membership. And he says, oh, yes, of course, and kind of lets it up. And So I guess
Us
Elon
two little goblins just, you know, walk
follow
behind.
with him, and upon seeing that guy, he's like, oh, sweet. Okay, then I guess, well, we can say that Elon and Shishu can walk with you guys just for this section, you know, even if you're not planning on doing it, so you're all there. You walk up this sort of staircase that this guard lets you through, kind of gestures, and at the top of this is a very fancy, like, think like, you know, like 19th century gentleman's club, you know, like wood walls, roaring fire at a fireplace, big leather chairs, you know, portraits and taxidermied heads of things, including, and this might upset the four of you, a dragon head. There is a dragon head severed and stuffed on the wall.
I think
Ooh. What color?
Roll a d10.
does it look familiar? Is it?
It does not look
Is it
familiar.
related to anyone? Huh?
It won't look familiar.
One.
One?
It looks exactly like my dad.
I think at least the Gimlet is like very much trying not to stare at the head,
Sure.
but keeps like.
XigXag's like, I wonder if the brains was still in there. Yeah. But as you sort of walk up, a sort of kind of having been sort of probably notified somehow from down below, a hobgoblin wearing a sort of very traditional, like khaki-colored suit with a pith helmet on, strides over to a tall, very shiny.
The great white hunter.
Yes, basically, but this great hobgoblin hunter sort of walks over to you all and says, "Oh! What a lovely group you are. Yes, of course, of course, of course. Oh, look at you. Look at explorers, I can tell. Ah, you've ventured very far, I can tell, certainly. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hear you're interested in a potential membership."
Yeah, we sort of required to find the specifics out of that. What are sort of the costs and benefits of membership?
Well, the benefits are myriad, my old boy. Membership means you will join the most elite group of explorers on this or any other world, dedicated to solving the mystery that binds us all together in this wonderful land called Witchworld. As far as the dues, don't worry about that now. He kind of, you can tell that he is looking at Elon, Shishu, and Lord Buku, sort of, and kind of just like, yes, of course. I'll tell you what, my friends. We're about to be having our beef dinner. If you would like to join us, you're more than welcome. We'll be having a beefy tonight. One of the perks of membership. But I will allow you to come and join us for this, and you can ask any questions you have.
Now, we did just spend a whole day traveling.
Travel, of course you did.
Turn down a meal.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
well, we don't offer a free meal to anyone, but I can tell that you are all great explorers. And if I can be a little bit further... Aha! Based on your garb, I don't think any of you are specifically even from this material plane.
Very astute.
Well then, yes, your presence is most welcome. Come. He sort of pauses and points at the dragon head and says, "See that? I killed it! Yes, I did. One of my many adventures."
You must tell me all about that. I would love to hear it.
Yes, but I used a firearm of my own invention.
Really?
Philip, I need to ask a question now that's sort of a meta question.
Of course.
Because I can't make a meta read person roll, but I just have to ask a question. From what we've seen of master mages, do they change appearance or do they always look like them?
Oh, they do change appearance for sure.
Okay.
But they typically don't change personality.
Okay.
So if you're thinking that this is Sherlock Holmes, it is not. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Is Sherlock Holmes near at hand? I can't answer that. But this is not Sherlock Holmes. The vibe of this is much more. This is much more like a big game hunter. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Do I? Well, I don't know why, but do I think he's telling the truth about the dragon?
Make it. Yeah, you can do a read person roll.
I'm not good at that, but
I think Shishu is hoping it's a faux dragon head. Like,
does it
Like an
smell
enemy
like a
that was
dragon?
crushed before you.
XigXag, with your nose, it is definitely a real dragon. Oh, he'll also
Oh,
introduce
nothing.
himself. What's that?
I got nothing.
Nothing. He will introduce himself as I am Sir Crodgleypook.
Crudgely
Sir
poop.
Crodgleypook.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, you can call me Crodgley or Sir Crodgley or Sir Pook or whatever you want to call me. So,
Kind of like Pook itself.
shall we? You want brandy? We can get you some brandy while we wait for the beef dinner.
I mean, that
Sure.
sounds nice.
Wonderful. This way, this way. He'll sort of point out a few. This was an expedition that we took. Now, well, you probably have come here. You probably know a great deal of us, but I can confirm to you that we do have a dodecahedral gate. So if you're ever looking to travel to other planes, it is possible, though it's not so easy to get back, of course. But you know that already. Now, this here, if you see this, see this here. See this area here?
Yeah.
Do any of you know which plane it is from? He's sort of pointing to like a map on the wall.
Do I know anything? Do I
look
recognize
familiar.
anything? Do any of us recognize anything?
I don't think any of you would have any recognition of this. He'll say, "This is
It's a
Fulcrum.
Wukrum?
Fulcrum. That's where the Grim Hunt. You know, those ones who decided to try to take the fight to the dragons and all that on their damn fool quest to try to. Now they've not been heard from since. This is where they were from. For a while, we were wondering if part of the
Yeah,
plateaus
let me
of
write
Ling were
that one. Wukrum.
We wondered if the plateaus of Ling were actually there, but they weren't. Well, at least not where we start here. They're not in any of this region. We're confirmed. This way. Oh, do you recognize this? Do you
what?
recognize this?
Sorry. That's really interesting. What was it they were looking for?
Well, no. Oh, I don't know. Were they who? The Grim Hunt?
Hmm.
Oh, I think they were looking to die horribly in a stupid quixotic quest of vengeance.
I'm sure they succeeded.
No, but members of our organization, we went on an expedition to that material plane of Fulcrum.
And the ruins are not there.
The ruins of the plateaus of Leng, we have confirmed, were not there.
Absolutely sure. Okay. So the ruins are not even on display.
We don't know.
Oh.
We know that we've looked in almost every place on this world, so we suspect perhaps the ruins were elsewhere.
Oh, what are the
Don't let
places
those.
where are the places where you haven't looked? Do you have a
Well,
list of that?
Of course, yes.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, many explorers want to retrace other explorers' steps to make sure that they didn't miss something.
That
You know
is
those stuffed shirts over at their research institute?
true.
They're always, going on about how, oh, well, clearly you're not going to simply find it until you undo whatever enchantments make it impossible to find. But that's not how we think here. We're doers. We're achievers. We go out and do and achieve. Now, granted, we haven't achieved that much as far as it, but we have had a lot of fun along the way.
That's
The
what
guy I'm
matters.
thinking this might be more of the place for the Pateros than.
I love this guy.
Yeah, maybe we should switch the arrangement.
But anyway, do you all have dinners like this all the time?
Oh, yes, every night, of course. Anytime
Every
you're in
night.
town, come for a good beef dinner here. Provided you become members, or dare I trust or hope, fellows. Ooh, if you become fellows, well, then we are...
What's what? I'm sorry if I'm embarrassing you all looking over at the Pateros, but what's the difference between a member and a fellow?
Well, a member is someone who pays their dues and goes on missions and shares information. Fellows, however, such as myself, are the sort of senior-most members who have made incredible contributions to our mission, whether in terms of explorations that have come back with concrete evidence, or financial contributions.
Oh, I see. But even if you're just a member, you get the dinner.
Oh, yes, of course.
All right.
The fellows, however, get a lodging. Breakfast and lunch, too. And tea. Well, actually, the members get tea. And fellows get unrestricted usage of the dodecahedral gate.
Oh, how do the members get restricted?
Well, they simply have to make appointments and,
Oh, I see.
pay per usage sort of things. Tongart, give me a read person.
Sure. I mean, I sort of feel like I know what's going on with this guy, but sure.
Yeah.
Are we just getting upsold into a timeshare?
That's basically it.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
That is gonna be 3 4s.
3 4s.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
after you've changed one.
Yeah.
Understood. 4s is a good one for magic and miracle and such. You have a suspicion that, I mean, you all know already, just as human beings. He's talking to you about these benefits because, based again on just their appearance and vibe, he thinks it is not impossible that the Buteros and Lord Buku Bazan might potentially have the holdings to sink a fellowship position here. Basically, to pay a bunch of money for the honor of going on missions to benefit this organization.
Right.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Hmm.
Get your name on one of the chairs.
Oh, whoa, hold on. No. Now that's to become a charter fellow.
Wait, look, friends, I feel like Shishu, Alan, we should all just sort of be taking notes on what this pitch is and what's going on here. This might be useful information for us down the line.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I should tell him about Shishuology, and that might.
Oh, I mean, go for it, Shishu, and see what happens.
I tell him about Shishuology with the overtones of the insinuation and contextualization that we'd consider joining if all of the members would become Shishuology followers.
Not what I was expecting at all. Amazing.
Give me a charm roll.
Okay, let me see if I even have any charm. I don't think I do.
You have 4 charm.
Oh, I have 4. Okay, so can I add some dice to that?
You may. If you wanted to spend 12 precious power, you could add 6 and have 10.
Great. Happy to do it.
Okay.
Have 10. 24.
She's just putting all of her soul into this.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you're not going to win big unless you risk big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Triple 2s.
You can spend other 5 to make it 4.
Yeah. I'm going to spend another 5 to make it 4 2s.
4
Go
2s.
for broke.
For wealth/greed.
Wealth and greed. All right, very good.
Yep.
Okay. So with a 4th degree success, you start pitching this. And at this point, I think a couple of goblins who work here have brought you guys all brandies, and they've offered you pipes. But he sort of takes his brand and he listens to your pitch as Shishu is basically explaining, Shishu is explaining, we'd love to join this and make a sizable donation, provided every single member converts to my made-up religion.
Yes.
Upon hearing this pitch, however, he's just holding his brandy the whole time and listening to this, and when you sort of finish, his head goes back and he just laughs in this very kind of congenial guffaw. That is the spirit we're after in this organization. Let me tell you, that's the kind of entrepreneurial, exploratory, go big or go home attitude we're looking for. That being said, I'll tell you, we've attempted to get into the religion game on a few occasions. It has not been successful. Which is not to say you couldn't do it, because I bet you could. But
it's not a game.
Of course. But he'll at this point, with great affection towards Shishu, just start addressing the rest of you. Yes, point is, it's very difficult to break it, especially in this part of the world. I think you'd have a lot more, to be frank, you'd have a lot more success if you went to Panopolis.
Ooh.
Panopolis.
Yes, if you were interested in a religious organization, kind of a religious takeover, Panopolis is the place. They have sort of airwaves and broadcasts and things that you could, the Aperopolis, you know.
Who can you refer us to there? Who you know who's high up?
Well, Oh, I don't know. Maybe the mayor of Panopolis, who's a member of this organization. Many people say that the mayor of Panopolis, given the number of people who live there, the most populous of all the continents of this world, is the most powerful sort of, leader of anywhere in the world. Even though the Mysterian is clearly the most powerful. Although we have no real connection to the Mysterian, of course, in this organization. Did you know that some of our members want to change our name because they think the Mysterian's men is not reflective of the many women who are members? They'd rather us be called the Mysterian's mercenaries, or the Mysterian's missionaries, spelled with a Y, or the Mysterian's marines, or the Mysterian's musketeers, or some other term. And word is that the Mysterian doesn't actually want us to use the title in our title, but we've been doing so since long before the Mysterian was the Mysterian, so we will. We're pretty sure that a former Mysterian actually did found this organization, at least that's what we all say, so.
But the Mysterian's fellows.
Well, I think we like the the alliteration. It's gotta start with an M.
The Mysterian's monkeys. No, that doesn't say that. Masters.
Mysterian's masters. I mean, I like the sound of it, but I think the Mysterian wouldn't like the sound of it. Ding, 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 ding. Ah, time for beef. Come. And he just sort of leads you.
Well.
Your cigarette is getting smaller and smaller.
Oh, yes. Let me finish it off. It's real Cookie Monster energy. I should have just let it fall out of my mouth. Alright, so you guys are led into a large banquet room. There are not a ton of people currently in town, which is not to say that this club is in any trouble. I mean, you've seen its real estate. They're doing fine. It's more that just, people are out on adventures or doing things. But there's probably like 10 or 15 people kind of, going to these various tables. You notice that as he sort of comes in, Sir Crodgley kind of like, motions to a couple of other figures who kind of come over to sort of you and kind of sits with, you all and two other kind of high members at one table. And then sort of the rest of the people are kind of at another table and kind of are looking at you guys and wondering or rolling their eyes as you're, saps they're trying to milk money out of, etc. But the two other individuals who sit with Sir Crodgley and you, the first is a goblin who is he is wearing like pretty like simple clothes, kind of like a tan sort of shirt, like explorer clothes, but very simple, not ostentatious. He's kind of just very whatever. He just kind of is sitting there. He kind of nods to XigXag and Tongart, picks up a fork and knife and like sets him down like he's in a cartoon ready to eat, pound on the table like that. Probably does stuff a napkin under his shirt, kind of very much in eating mode. He's clearly here for the beef. The other individual is very different. She is wearing, the only clothing she has on is a, and I mean I want to preface by saying I know this is going to evoke a certain thing, and this is only half intended to do so. She is wearing such a good smoking jacket. It's an amazing jacket. Her jacket is like, and she wears it well. She's wearing this incredible smoking jacket.
She's a real jacket girl, is what you're saying?
Well, yes, but she's not, a jacket girl, or more a jacket ooze. Because what this is a humanoid, faceless, blobbing, ooze. Kind of like a bluish green, fairly translucent, and she just sort of sits down. But she is in this incredible smoking jacket that kind of does, like, she wears it to but it really does give her some form and shape, and like without it, you know, it probably just helps her like keep arms in a place, but you know, the bottom of her isn't necessarily legs, it might just kind of be like a slug, like, you know, sliding thing. But sort of she sits down as well and kind of relaxes and really does melt back into her chair. But she sort of nods to you, and a mouth forms amidst the ooze and kind of speaks for her, and kind of her voice comes out, and she says, "Well, good evening to all of you. It's wonderful to meet prospective recruits, of course. So excited to have you all here. What are your names? I'm Lady Sog. At least that's what they call me in this language.
Elambuteros.
Oh! A young man with manners! We love to see it, we love to see it.
Shishibuteros.
Oh! Sister or wife?
Sister.
Oh, good to hear.
The fact that she waited for Alon to declare, she looked at him. Which am I?
No, I just thought it was obvious because we look. Oh wait, no, we don't look alike. I keep forgetting we're in our other form.
I mean, you look alike, but you are different species, so yeah.
Same features, but different species, yeah.
I'm Tongartless, so
So you are.
pleasure to meet you.
I am XigXag.
Oh.
Nice to meet you.
I like that. XigXag. Seems like I can picture you just running this way, that way, all up and down. Delightful.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm Lord Bukub-san, of course. It's wonderful to meet you of Bazan-Keen. Actually, here it probably didn't say of Bazan-Keen, because explorers might know what that means.
Right.
And Lagak. I'm Lagak. Wonderful to meet you all. Well, isn't this a much more interesting dinner than we usually have around here? As I watch you all just chew and masticate on your beef.
Oh, were you not having any beef?
Oh, I do, but I just dissolve it like a civilized being. Ah, here comes now. And platters of beef are brought over to you, and Lady Sog, with her kind of gummy, you know, slorching goo ooze hands, just picks up a knife and fork, slices off a piece, puts it in her mouth, and you watch it just sizzle away like inside of her.
Is she kind of see-through?
Yeah, she's very
stuff?
yeah.
Are there any dead persons floating
No.
about in
No,
or no?
she's very clean. She keeps it clean.
Yeah.
Is she just
No
made
brain,
of
though.
hydrochloric acid?
Kind of. I mean, she's made of some very acidic substance, which she seems to be able to control because she's not melting the. Like, it seems like it's. I'll tell you what, Shishu or anyone could do an analyze on this. And technically, XigXag, I would let you put your natural world bonus onto it. Maybe 10.
God,
Oh, geez, that gives you 10. Jesus. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Oh my
XigXag, that's
gosh.
fine.
Shishu
This
cannot
is.
analyze.
Yeah.
She didn't
No
roll anything. She's just staring a little too long at her.
Perfect.
Okay. Yet I have triple what is the one? Artwork.
Triple artwork. Okay, XigXag, you suspect, based on the fact that the cutlery she picks up, the glass when she picks it up, none of that stuff is messed. Her jacket seems totally fine. The chair she's in, nothing's like fizzing. And yet when she puts it inside, you suspect that she probably has some degree of like control over her outer form, meaning she is like, you could touch her, it's not acidic, but everything inside of her is like a gelatinous cube or, you know, ooze or whatever. She's totally will dissolve whatever but she won't mess with you just to touch you. But sure enough, her beef, she's not chewing it. Meanwhile, you guys are all served beef. If anybody wants beef steaks, you can have a beef steak.
I'll eat it.
Sir Crotchley just begins to saw away on his beefsteak. When it's set down in front of him, that goblin who has sat with you will kind of look at XigXag and Tongart and say, he'll say like in Goblin, kind of like dig in, so some kind of friendly like food's on. You also noticed that. What's that?
Did we decide that we know the language of our shape-changed forms?
I think you probably have picked up a little bit of,
Okay.
Yeah, you've picked up. That term certainly. Yeah.
I will say the goblin equivalent of bon appetit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. Yeah, you can.
I'll return.
Yeah, you'll say anything back. You do notice that he is served an additional like gravy boat of some kind of like fermented fish sauce kind of thing to put with his beef, and the waiter's actually looking at Tongart and XigXag, just like have some for you and gesture like, do you want this as well?
Okay. What do I smell? Does it smell delicious?
It smells it. If you recall, it smells exactly like that, like really like pungent goblin food you guys had, when last.
Do I like pungent goblin food?
It was up to you if you liked it or not.
You know what? I would like to. I would like to try it. Like,
Sure,
give it
yeah.
to me, and then I'll
He'll
try
when he
it
sees
and-
you guys getting it, and he's like pouring it all over his beef, but sees you guys doing it, he's like, yeah.
I hope there are potatoes too.
He's eating. It's all he cares about. Sir Crotchley says, "So yes, so what? So tell us of some of your expeditions. I'm sure you've gone to very many places. What's the wildest place you've gone on your adventures, my new friends?"
Dreadlands.
Wait, really? And the goblin goes, "Oh no way! You went to Redland?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it."
I mean, and Shishu describes that horrible lick who had the cards. What's her name? Megan?
Oh wait.
Yeah, it was Megan.
Oh no. Megan was the nice one. You're talking about the
The shitty one.
You're talking about the
The shithead.
Yeah, you're talking about who you hate
What do
so
I-
much. Emniel.
MDL.
MDL.
Oh, that bitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
I want to at this point have developed like a very old European woman thing of you say Emniel's name and I just spit on the ground.
So yeah, if you tell but basically you have them all. Obviously, you're not telling the context of why you were in the Shadowlands and the
Right.
Dreadlands, but you tell how Emniel tricked you guys going into the Dreadlands, and all three explorers are wrapped. The only time the only time they interrupt you, and they're not even interrupting you, is Lady Sog will say to the goblin, "Slippery lawn, chew your food." Oh, sorry. But they
And I
listen to your sort of
basically
story.
end the story with, "We won because I'm a deity." But we triumphed because I am a deity.
And Sir Crotchley kind of gives, they're kind of a, they're just, well that is quite a tale. The Dreadlands.
It's all true.
Oh, even if it's not, it's a wonderful tale. But the Dreadlands, that's an impressive place to have gone. My word, and to have made it out. Ooh, very clever, switching places. I have a question for you, Shishu. No one could have interrupted you this, so would you, in your telling of that, have explained that you pulled in? How would you have explained the people that you sort of pulled into that realm to serve as your means of escape? Would you have said that it was the Grim Hunt? Would you have said it was your enemies? What would you have said?
I don't think I would have revealed it was the bipeds from the Grim Hunt.
You would have just said some enemies that you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So they're she's and that's very clever, getting rid of your enemies in such a way. That's I'm most impressed. Yes. Well,
Do any of these folks have any idea that we're in disguise?
none have revealed that they have an idea you're in disguise.
Okay.
You are shape changed, so it's like only true sight would reveal it.
Right. Okay.
It's not typical. Like even if they have even detect magic won't tell that you're shape changed.
Okay.
It has to only be a being who has a true sight. The goblin.
I also, when I'm done, I fan myself with my wings because of all this meat we're eating.
Slippery Lawn, having heard all of this, they'll bring him another beefsteak. He'll cut off the end cap and take a bite and then say, "So this Emniel, and I don't mean this is like an offensive question. Just curious because we don't meet too many angelkin. So she's an angelkin and you're an angelkin. Are you guys related or are you just?"
No.
Nope.
No relation.
Just two angelkin who have a lot of enmity to Emniel, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Story's better if she's your sister or something.
But that's how you can tell it's a true story because she's not my sister.
That is a tight argument. I'm saying, if you want the story to be better, change it that she's your sister.
I like to live my life authentically for all of my followers. Authenticity is one of the values of Shishuology.
Yep. So what plane are you guys from?
Somebody want to field this?
Yeah, one of the fairy planes that we've been to,
I mean,
or the one with the.
We're from.
Well, we're from here. Right?
Yeah.
Heck. Well,
you're from here, but
technically, yeah. Technically, now this place is our plane of origin.
Dope.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that is actually true.
But clearly, you weren't from here. We would have heard of you already. What plane were you on? It's a cool thing, by the way. It's great to be born here or be created here, then leave. Because then you got your wish, but you don't have to deal with all the ragamuffins here.
Well,
So
we've been traveling around all over the place, here and there,
Yeah, Shadow World, Dreadlands. Where else?
Yeah, definitely.
That's not where you grew up, though.
The Fairylands.
Oh, Fairylands?
Fable, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You ever meet Mr. Bastard?
Did we meet Mr. Bastard?
I don't think you ever did.
No, I mean unless that's your sort of colorful name for Bill Bluster.
Wait. Oh, you guys met Bill Bluster?
Yeah.
A couple of times.
These guys are legit. Oh, Bill Bluster. Yes, we've certainly know of Bill Bluster. El Kinigdus Reynings.
We stayed with Kog'Maw for a while.
You really have been around. Well, very impressive. Any other material planes you ventured to? Tongart, give me a read person on this. I let you do it because it's your primary skill.
Sure. Ooh, let's see. Which one of those will be better? Let's go with triple coinage.
Triple coinage. Nice. Security. Comfort. What he... Trying to kind of keep yourself safe, yes. He is asking leading questions. He's not you don't feel it's malicious in any way. But he is basically... What he wants to know is, tell me the material plane... He's trying to find out the material planes that you've been to. Because clearly that's a big part of what... they're looking for... What clues can we gain from these people's explorations into the location of... And by now you have heard many times that the two civilizations that they are looking for are the Ba Stronghold and the Plateaus of Ling. Those were the two civilizations that are said to have existed before the Ba Ling mystery. But no one can find any trace of them.
Ba Stronghold. Plateaus of Lang.
Have you been in the material planes?
Just
Wyrmloth.
our home that we don't really want to tell them.
Yeah.
really kind of gives it away what we are. So, and there's one of us already mounted on the wall.
Do we know of any
I was
material
gonna
planes?
do
Something to
we
lie
know
about?
of anything
You
else?
you know of Vulcrum. He just talked about Vulcrum.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would have heard of too many others necessarily. Research. Anyone can roll a research. This is for like retroactive research. How many material planes you might
Okay,
know.
do I have research?
It's not great, but hey, give it a shot.
What is the under intellect?
Under intellect, yeah. It's the very
Oh, I'm reasonably
pair
good at that.
Pair of tome.
pair of tome. Okay. Tell you what. You know of a largely destroyed plane that is still there, but it has mostly been destroyed. So there's a former material plane mostly destroyed by dragons. It was called Fessiting.
I have a
Fessiting?
pair of
Fessetiing.
gemstone.
Pair of gemstone.
I can use 5 to make it a triple if that helps.
You have heard of a gemstone? Harmony, you have heard of a place called Rumono.
Yumono.
All you know is that you just know of it. You couldn't describe it more than that.
Well, part of the reason I say that we're from here now is our original plan before we kind of went hopping around was Fessitone.
Fessiting. Oh.
So we've sort
Before
of
or
since
after
then.
its destruction?
Well, we sort of weren't there when it happened. Came back. You know what they say, you can't go home again, right? Well, that's very literally true for us.
You were raised on Fessiting, I see. Very interesting.
But so, once we found out that our plane was destroyed, we just sort of kept exploring.
Yeah.
Tundra,
We've
go
been
ahead and
to
give me a deception.
Brumono, but yeah, we did.
Sorry, was it
Give me a
Yep,
deception.
deception? Okay.
And XigXag, you say you've also while he's saying this, you say you've also been to
It was
Ramono?
not by Grumono, but not much I can tell you about that.
Oh, Ramono, yes. Believe me, we've gone looking on Ramono. See nothing there but way too many people falling in love.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
it's true. A lot of love there. Good weddings, though.
Oh, that
And-
sounds nice.
And meet cutes. And a lot of people arguing, like misunderstanding, because people were only getting together because of a bet, but then they realized they really like each other. Chasing people to any kind of port, you know? Do that a lot there.
I'm just gonna go ahead and spend 5 power to change one of these die.
Okay.
So that will be 4th degree success in 4 in Talisman.
Tungart, you think that the next thing you guys need to do is research the hell out of Fessiting? Because right now, no one is doubting that you're from Fessiting. So the Fessiting cover story is yours to blow.
Okay.
If you guys can get out of here tonight and find an all-night library, just read up on Fessiting, you're golden.
All right. I will make that argument later.
Yeah. I will, however, say it's actually later than I thought in real human life. So I will sort of say that Crodgley will sort of, the beef, you'll be brought your puddings and everything, and you'll kind of have your stuff there, beef puddings. But at the end, Sir Crodgley will say, well, this was a wonderful dinner, and you certainly you've earned your meal just in terms of the stories you've told. So I can, blah, 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 blah. And here is some paperwork as far as the dues expected of members and fellows and charter fellows. He sort of hands it to you. Take your time, look it over. We would certainly love to have you formally enter into an organizational contract with us here. We actually have there's a new expedition we're about to mount. We think this
Where
one-
to?
Oh, only members can know that. But suffice it to say, we think this one might actually provide us with some shall we say concrete information. If you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. Slippery Lawn will add, yeah, real concrete. Like sink to the bottom of the ocean because the mob puts your feet in shoes of it, kind of concrete. Lady Sog will add.
Person here or something?
That's a very weird way to say a slippery lawn. The point is, yes, we're hoping that we're finally on the edge of a breakthrough. Of course, we say that every time, don't we? You see the last of her dessert fizzle away inside of her. And with that, you guys many hands are shaken. Does anybody shake Lady Sog's hand?
If it's offered, I'm gonna shake it.
It tingles but doesn't burn.
Okay.
Yeah. And with that, you guys are sort of escorted out. You do have the contract in hand. And I think that as you emerge, it is now night. The city of Ofalo is beautiful at night. Those sort of domes, everything is very well lit. A lot of magical illumination. Also, those airships are lit up as well. So there's.
I hand my contract to Elon.
Sure. Look at this. So with that, as you guys step out into this beautiful evening, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
All right.
Yeah, get some stuff done.
Yeah, not a
Look
fairly
at us.
productive night for us.
And we had a beef dinner.
And a beef
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
Guys,
And
I
a bunch
really
of-
was enjoying cutting beef and pork.
Yeah,
and
you were
stuff
having a
like that.
good time.
Having a great time.
Yeah.
Did it make me very hungry? It did.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So yeah. Next time, perhaps you can go check in with the Stonehold Research Institute. A
Sure.
bit more sedate over there. A bit more theoretical, but there might be more hard intel. But also, is it good intel? A good question. We have some other games on the channel. I'll plug those real quick. Tomorrow night, we're back with the Dreamlands, where I'm pretty sure It's Alive is going to be the thing. Vanda, you voted for It's
Yes.
Alive first. You were the first vote for It's Alive.
It just sounded
don't,
right.
Do you watch that show?
Sometimes not when it airs because it's
you'll
bad
put it on
timing
later.
for
Yeah,
it,
sure.
but put it on later when I'm working. I just listen to it.
I was curious if you had been moved by the plight of poor Friederike, because it seems like you're always...
Honestly, from your description, it's just like, I was like, poor girl, let's help her.
Okay, that's what I was literally wondering if that's the reason you've been doing it. Okay, perfect.
That was totally it. And then, of course, KJ jumped in, so I know that I made the right decision.
Yeah, that's her pet project. So just join us tomorrow night for the Dreamlands. They will be trying to resurrect poor Friederike. On Wednesday, we have more Top Flight Tales coming your way. Will we start a sixth game? Who's to say? On Fireflight was last week, and oh boy, that's Dan's favorite character he's ever made. It's all he wants to play is that.
Well, and I'm now just a bear, and I'm very happy about it.
Bear.
His name's
Bare
Doomclaw.
necessities, although albeit oil slick. On Friday, we are back with Blood from a Stone. I will now go ahead and mention, I think it is now confirmed, this Friday on Blood from a Stone, say goodbye to Ignador. We are starting a new thread. Some of you might have guessed what it will be. We'll see what it is. Actually, no, some of the players guessed because I told them the information. Reverse that part. Point is, join us on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, for all these games. 1 week from tonight, I actually need to talk to these people about this. We'll have something, or it might be more of this if people are around, or it might be a strange lore. We're having some strange lore scheduling stuff, so we'll do something, and then in 2 weeks, regardless, we'll be back with more dragons. So, something fun next week, one way or another. Go to our YouTube to watch old episodes, go to our Discord to interact, and to vote for our Dreamlands downtime. The wiki, however, do not go to the fake news failing wiki. The failing LLL wiki that is basically just publishing hit jobs against me right now. Or go to it. Sophia works hard on it. Some of the... You know what?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. The hard news articles, those are fine. But the opinion pieces, like the quotes page, garbage.
There's a new section called quotes from Philip in the wiki.
And I just don't think they need to be assembled like that, because it doesn't sound good for me.
Out of context, right?
Out of context. I mean, they're bad. I'll phrase it like this. They're already bad in context. So out of context. Oof. But, and also thanks to everybody for being in chat tonight. Very fun stuff. We appreciate you all being here. But that's what I'm up to on this channel with many of these people as well. But these people have lives outside this channel, like such as, and for instance,
Anna, what's going on? I saw you were demoing. You're doing demos this month?
I'm not live streaming this week. But I will. We are on sale. Eat Happy Kitchen pasta sauces, if you live in the SoCal area, are on special. It's called TPR, temporary price reduction. We are on TPR at Gelson's and Pavilions. So please go stock up on your pasta sauces and support our retail partners so that they don't kick us off the shelf. Thank you. Andrew, what are you doing this week?
I am not streaming. I will probably be playing a lot of Helldivers, and I will be recovering from this spring break that we just had. So I'll be chilling. But you all should watch Pierce.
Oh, I guess you could. I'm sort of sporadically on these days. Sundays have been consistent. I have Animorphs, but I will continue to Manzukis. I'll make a weird recommendation again of a movie based on tonight.
Okay.
Of a movie I haven't watched in a long time, but I watched a lot of when it came out.
Okay.
And that is The Ghost in the Darkness, starring Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas.
Wow.
Have you ever read any of the William Goldman books on screenwriting, like Adventures in the Screen Trade or any of those books?
I have not, but I think we've talked about the story specifically about
his story about that book. I'm just going to tell it very briefly. Sorry, I know it's like 9:30. But his story about that book is that his claim is that he got hired on to be the screenwriter of The Ghost in the Darkness. It's a true story about people getting attacked by lions while building a railroad in Africa. And he says this tells you everything about actors. Michael Douglas was a producer on the movie. And he said that Michael Douglas Michael Douglas is a genius. His notes as a producer were brilliant. They just were so good for the movie. All his ideas were amazing. Every thought he had, people to cast, all this. It was great. I'm over the moon. This guy's a genius. I love working with Michael Douglas. He's writing the script. Then they lose an actor, and they're understandably Michael, can you just play this? And he goes, yeah, sure. And then he becomes an actor, and his notes become disastrous. And they're all about just his character and how he will be perceived, because that's what actors do when they're acting. And William Goldman basically says, and it ruins the movie. And he's not even blaming Michael Douglas. He's because he says the only actor who wasn't like that in his whole career is Paul Newman. He just has nothing but good to say about Paul Newman, but he just says there's an actor thing that happens once you're gonna be on camera and seen. It's all your objectivity goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating. Whatever. All his books are great. William Goldman's amazing. Anyway.
I learned this recently. Did you know that Stephen King is a character in The Princess Bride?
In the book?
Wait, what?
In the later editions of Princess Bride, where William S. Morgenstern talks about the adaptation of the film and that he was going to write, but he gave it to another Florinian to write. One Stephen King, noted Florinian author.
Oh, interesting. That's funny. Wow. I have read the book of The Princess Bride. It's a fascinating book because it's structured really interestingly. So anyway, well, that's hilarious. All right, well, thank you for the Ghost in the Darkness, Manzukis.
Sure. It's probably not good. I haven't watched it in
Vanda, do you want to recommend anything?
I got nothing right now.
Fair enough. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. I always love having this group back together. We'll see you when we see you. Until then, may you wing on a prayer and a hope.